painting session. Here I am working on Tater Tot, who is apparently a very happy and wonderful little chihuahua. I'd already laid down like the base layer of the painting when I thought, hey, I should totally record myself while painting this. So that's why I was already started. I use a bunch of different brushes to lay down the colors, and you can see up there in the like upper, what is that, left or right? Right, upper right hand corner, I've got my tablet, and I have the photograph on that so that I'm able to look back and forth from that to the painting. So sometimes it's a little harder to see when I've got this like really sped up, but I'll be doing a lot of pausing so that I can look back and forth between the photo and the painting to make sure that I'm putting colors and such where I want to put them. And my painting style is weird. I lay down colors. I think I've said in previous videos I'm not really, or I am self-taught with this, so I kind of do it just however. You can see there I moved the photo around so I could get a closer look at what I was painting. I do like how it looks when it's all sped up like this, how the paints just kind of magically appear. It's really pretty. That's one of my favorite parts about watching painting videos, is watching those paints just kind of just appear out of nowhere, it almost seems like. And one of these days, when I'm getting ready to record, I will remember to put this thing on manual focus and not automatic focus, because I'm making myself dizzy just trying to watch it, trying to focus constantly. So I lay down the colors, just darkening them as I go. Sometimes I'll lay down some colors and think, that's not right, that's not the right color, so then I'll find another color to put in there and look to see. Now what I really wanted to do with the eye here was I wanted to paint a galaxy in it, because her eye was just like a milky color, and I could totally see the universe in her eye. And from what I've been told, Tater Tot here has gone through like multiple surgeries. So I loved getting to paint this painting with her with this huge smile on her face and just looking so happy. The things I concentrate on the most when I'm doing my paintings, or at least like when I'm painting dogs, the eye is the most important. Then I like to pay attention to the nose, and then if their mouth is open and showing the tongue or the teeth or whatnot, I try to put extra care in painting those. And then after that, the ears are important to me, and then I kind of branch out from there and move on to the fur, as you know, in order of importance to myself when I'm painting. So it's kind of like eye, nose, mouth, ear, skin, I guess. But I know, like, when I'm looking at dogs or cats or whatnot, it seems like the first thing I notice about them are their eyes. And so because of that, that's what I make the most important thing in my paintings, because their eyes are so beautiful and can show so much love and just all that expression. It's just amazing. And then of course the nose is so prominent on their face, and so you have to make sure that it is done just right. That's why those are like my two top things. And then when it comes to like the tongue and the ear, I just have fun painting those because they can have lots of little lines and such to them that add to the fun of laying down colors. And again, you can see there where I moved the photo around on my tablet in order to help give myself a better look at where colors are and such. And then what I'm doing here in the lid is I put some of the paint in there, and then taking a watered down brush, I can lay down, I can make sure that like that's black. But if I put it in the lid there heavily watered down and then I have my brush watered down, then it makes a nice, really light gray color that is good for shading. And I do have gray in my palette there, but it's more of like a Payne's gray. And for a lot of the shading, I tend to like more of the lighter black. Here I'm trying to pay attention to the colors and patterns that are also around the eye. I want to make sure that it is just right. And look what I'm doing here. I think this is where I'm doing this. I'm lifting the color. So I've got the brush watered down, and I water down the spot, and then I use the paper towel to then lift the paint off. And so when you're doing that, when you're lifting the color, that helps with creating the highlights. And also, if you make a mistake, that's a good way to help try to quote-unquote erase a mistake you might make. That's kind of like how I like to add my highlights when it comes to the eyes, is by putting in the color and then later lifting the color out. I think it makes the highlight look a little more realistic. I have to say too, one of my favorite parts about painting is adding the shadows. I think the reason why I really like adding the shadows is because I like how it starts making the picture come together more. You can start to see the lines forming better, and the definition starts to form better because of that. Oh, what I'm doing here is I'm creating my own kind of a color. So I'm taking that blue and the dark brown, and now I'm adding a little bit of red, and it's going to create the kind of reddish color that I want for shading the tongue. And I'll also use it, that color on outside of the skin outside of the eye, and also the skin under the nose. So when you mix the blue and the brown together, you create a real pretty black. It's like a black that has definition to it, and that works really well when it comes to things like shading the eyes and creating reflections, having that blue in there. Oh, my paintbrush magically turned into my white pen. Oh, now it changed back into the paintbrush again. I totally missed that. When it was the white pen, I was adding some little highlights here and there. I'll be doing that some more later on too. I like when I'm editing this together and I'm like taking some of the footage out in order to shorten the video, and when I cut footage out and my hand is like in the same spot, so it's like magic that the brushes change in my hand. You see how I use some of the same colors in the skin there under the nose, and then I go into the nose and roundabout. And there's how I have the lighter black because it's watered down. And I'm using the stiffer bristles of the aqua brush to just kind of scrape and move the color around. That is a white wash. I don't really like using it a lot because wash has a different texture than watercolor, and so when I'm like mixing it together with the watercolor, it creates a weird texture to it. But sometimes I will use that white wash to help lighten stuff up that I think that color lifting won't work the same as, to create the right effect. Okay, there I am with the white pen again to help create some of those extra little hairs in the ears and highlights on the nose and little hairs coming off the mouth, highlighting little parts of the teeth. Creating some of the whiskers. Using a very small brush in order to also work on the whiskers there. I think I'm getting really close to done. The next day I go in with the white marker again and continue to add a little more highlights and stuff, but I didn't film myself doing that. But here is my painting. I hope that you like it. Here's the original photo. Please like and subscribe.